Technology has advanced from something that we use to something that quietly supports us. And with it, we now hold the potential of intentionally designing environments that take care of us. Welcome to the HAUS Hub Podcast, your go to space where design, cognitive sciences, well being, and business come together. I'm your host, Monica Costa, and today you're tuning into a Neurodesign Capsule, an exploration into how the spaces we dwell in can engage our senses, shape our thoughts, and quietly guide our behavior. This podcast is powered by HAUSes, born from its mission to guide designers on how to create spaces for well-being grounded in cognitive sciences principles. Let's dive in. I never thought much about smart homes until I had to. It first came up while I was deep in the details of a high-end residential project, and suddenly technology became part of the design conversation. At that point, design for me was pretty basic. Finishes, layouts, and creating beautiful functional spaces. Like for much designers, right? But this family, the homeowners, they had different priorities. They were busy. Their lives were layered with kids, routines, staff, and endless movement. And even if they were rarely home, they wanted their space to intuitively support them whenever they were. They didn't want to think about dimming the lights or turning on the music. They wanted the house to anticipate them, to create rhythm and comfort without them asking it to do it. So, lights that followed the natural arc of the day, or music that filled the studio without pressing a button, or even curtains that closed softly as the sun dipped, giving privacy and sense of ease. And to be honest, at first I saw it as convenience, nothing more. Back then, this was not something we covered in design school. Tech felt like contractors' work. It was not our world as designers. So basically, what I did was just coordinate it intuitively with the tech team, and that's it. I only thought about the functional side of it. What I didn't realize then, but I do now, is that this was about creating an environment that supports people. And looking back, I can't help but wonder, why aren't we as designers having this conversation? Why leave it only to the tech specialists or contractors? Technology could become part of how we design experiences. Why not? And even now, most designers aren't really in this conversation. So that's why I'm bringing this here today. And no, I'm not talking about gadgets or trends. We will dive into that with a specialist another time. Today, it's about how smart homes, when designed with care, can truly support our mental well being. And for that, I want us to get really curious. What happens when the spaces we live in start responding to us? What if design elements become dynamic and adaptive to our lifestyle? What if instead of just convenient and effective, they tackle our mental health? That's what we're exploring today. Because behind the gadgets and automations, it's really about us. And it's time we, as designers, paid closer attention. Let's start with the basics. What exactly is a smart home? Well, according to Aldrich, it's a residence equipped with computing and information technology, which anticipates and responds to the needs of the occupants, working to promote their comfort, convenience, security, and entertainment. So, yes, it's a home equipped with connected devices and automation, but that's just the start. When it comes to well being, they evolve into powerful allies. Let me give you some insights. In 2022, there was a study that explored how smart homes contribute to psychological well being through adaptive environments. They found that the ability of smart homes to automatically adjust lighting, temperature, and sound reduced daily microstressors. And with that, I mean the small annoyances that we all go through every day, like the room being too bright or too cold or too hot, etc. They have shown that those triggers affect our mood and they give us negative mood states. However, when the home self-regulates to meet your comfort needs, those stresses, they just disappear. They fade away. You don't have to pay attention to them anymore. So this is the first insight. Smart homes may take care of your discomfort and create conditions for your emotional regulation. Because by creating environments that maintain your physiological ease, smart homes can actually help the nervous system stay balanced, which over time supports a calmer and resilient state of mind. Now, some other key areas are safety, autonomy, and perceived control, which are one of the biggest contributors to smart homes supporting mental health. For people living alone, the elderly, for example, or individuals with mental health conditions, knowing that their home can actually monitor, respond, and alert without them needing to intervene increases feelings of security and reduces anxiety. Because when you feel safe, your brain just stops scanning for threats. That's when you can relax, process, and even access more positive mental health. Now, for us, the ones creating the spaces, this means that incorporating smart features like discrete monitoring or automated safety checks may reduce anxiety and help the users feel supported without being overwhelmed by the technology. I mean, from my standing point, that's a good reason to consider it, right? And there's more. There's one study that I really find interesting, even though the sample was a bit limited. In 2022 as well, researchers followed individuals living with depression, anxiety, and psychotic disorders to observe how smart home technologies could support their daily lives. Participants here were given the chance to choose which devices to use and how to integrate them into their routines. Over the course of a year, their routines grew steadier because their reminders helped them stay consistent with tasks that they felt daunting, like eating or taking their medications. This helped them reduce their mental strain and bring more ease to their everyday rhythms. Smart homes also offer to these people quiet connection during isolating moments, helping users stay linked to their caregivers and also their loved ones. However, the real impact here actually happened internally. Over time, participants began to feel more in control. Simple tracking features gave them better awareness of their body and behaviors. They weren't just reacting to their symptoms anymore, they were actually anticipating them. And this sense of agency built confidence. What began as automation quietly became empowerment. So, what some might see like it was just a home simply responding to commands, the users actually perceive it as their partners in their well being and mental health. Now, let's talk about another factor that can be addressed in smart homes, which is indoor air quality and comfort, which happen to also play an underestimated role in mental health. As we all know, the vast majority of the population started paying attention to indoor air quality in 2020 when COVID hit. However, very few know that poor air quality has been strongly linked to other things like mood disturbances, brain fog, and even fatigue, all factors that contribute to anxiety and depression. And actually, researchers have found that mental systems that monitor and adapt ventilation, humidity, and air filtration have a measurable impact on the residents' comfort and cognitive performance. In other words, smart homes that regulate air quality create cleaner, healthier environments that allow the mind to stay sharp and uplifted. Now, let's stop for a second and pull back a little bit and look at all of these together. The emotional regulation, the sense of security, the support for daily mental health management, the impact on cognitive comfort, and even the social emotional connection to our spaces. It becomes clear. Smart homes, when designed intentionally, can do more than automate. They can care. And in doing so, they can become subtle yet profound contributors to mental health and human flourishing. But of course, as powerful as all of this sounds, it's important to also acknowledge that smart homes are not magic. And there are some nuances and limitations that should be considered, starting with the fact that technology is not always the most cost effective path. And also recognizing that while research offers incredible insights into how environments can support mental health, there's no one size fits all solution. In fact, some studies show that poorly designed or overly rigid smart technology can do the opposite than what we intend. Another thing that is pretty clear from studying user concerns and behaviors is that many feel uneasy about over reliance on technology, privacy risks, and the sense of being controlled or constantly monitored. And for some, especially for older adults or individuals with cognitive challenges, too much automation felt kind of confusing and alienating, not empowering. So, while many appreciated the convenience and safety, others struggled with the learning curve and felt these systems didn't always grasp the nuances of their daily routines. All of this without mentioning the biggest simple truth: technology will never replace human connection. So, we also need to consider the increased loneliness and reduced engagement that can come when interaction is replaced by automation. So, what does this mean? Smart homes hold amazing potential, but they work best when designed with flexibility, empathy, and room for human variation. Not everyone needs the same level of automation. While these systems can offer comfort, dynamism, and choice are what keep environments and people supported and engaged over time. Now, as we move towards integrating these insights into design practice, here are some simple yet very powerful ideas to start with. We can begin with lighting. Is your environment aligned with the natural rhythm of the day? Circadian lighting can boost focus during working hours and gently help your brain wind down at night. Even one smart bulb or automated blind make a meaningful difference in how your nervous system regulates throughout the day. Another thing to consider is sound. Is there a noise that could be softened or moments that could be enhanced with gentle ambient sound? Tools that let you curate the soundscape, from white noise to reduce nighttime interruptions to focus enhancing backgrounds, have been shown to ease anxiety and boost cognitive clarity. Now, what about air? Clean, well circulated air impacts mood, sleep, and cognition. Smart sensors or air purifiers that respond to real time conditions are a great place to start. And above all, make sure your systems offer something vital: choice. The freedom to customize when needed transforms tech from overwhelming to empowering. Remember, prediction and control calms the mind. So here's your invitation for the week. Choose one way your home could take better care for you. Maybe it's setting your smart lights to dim gently in the evening to help you unwind. Or maybe it's creating a morning playlist that starts automatically as you make your coffee. Or maybe it is programming your thermostat to create a cozy atmosphere before you even arrive home. Pick just one simple shift. Let technology meet you where you are, not to impress anyone, but to support your nervous system, your mental health. And then notice how it feels to let your space quietly take care of you. Smart homes are often seen as luxurious and, at the very least, convenient. But as we've explored today, they can do so much more by supporting your daily lives in meaningful ways. They help us create spaces for presence, ease, and a little more breathing room in our minds and routines. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who's ready to rethink the way they live. And don't forget to follow the HAUS Hub Podcast to keep the conversation going every Tuesday. As always, thank you for being here. Stay well, stay curious, and keep designing your life with intention. See you next time.